on endometrial adenocarcinoma in cervical ThinPrep specimens. So this is an adenocarcinoma as well, and to my mind at least it has a classic adenocarcinoma appearance. Maybe that's because the cells are exfoliated from the endometrium and collected in the cervix rather than being directly sampled most of the time. And so the appearance is a lot like what we might see in effusion specimens when we get to them. Here's an interesting group. You can see delicate cytoplasm there. This is quite a three-dimensional group. There's depth of focus. Notice that nucleus is eccentrically placed. So these are not as tall columnar as endocervical, but they're definitely glandular in the fact that they've got an eccentric nucleus. Here's another group. Notice the kind of community border around the outside of that. They're all lining up to a flat surface, and nuclei are hyperchromatic. They're all round or oval, and they are showing a bit of overlapping and probably depth of focus in this case. Here's a smaller group. Notice this hard-edged vacuole I'm bringing in and out of focus in this cell. And this is a little acinar of nuclei. Here's a classic adenocarcinoma appearance with like a scalloped outline to this group, with nuclei that are all arranged peripherally. So again, like an acinar. And it's actually quite a ball, so I can focus up and down through this and bring nuclei at the top and the bottom into focus. Notice the nuclei are mainly around the outside, and they have vacuolated cytoplasm that is kind of projecting into the middle of this group. Here's another group on higher power. Notice the kind of sameness to the nuclei here. They are hyperchromatic but fairly fine chromatin. They all, I think, have single central nucleoli. And this material is interesting, so that's apoptotic debris and maybe neutrophils. That's a common feature you see is neutrophils in the cytoplasm of endometrial cells. Not always present, but commonly present. Another group here amongst a whole lot of necrotic debris. Notice the nuclei are fairly uniform here. They're large, round. They all have prominent single central nucleoli and quite fine chromatin, especially compared to a squamous lesion. Again, it's sort of acinar arranged. Here we have a few little cells, and notice again those hard-edged, large secretory vacuoles in these cells. This case has quite a lot of material, and they're just in little balls of cells like this. Notice that some have neutrophils ingested in the cytoplasm. Here's a good example of that. You can see them hidden away there. So in summary, endometrial adenocarcinoma usually presents in balls of cells with three-dimensional groupings. The nuclei are arranged around the outside of the group usually, so it forms like an acinar arrangement. Cytoplasm is usually moderately abundant, and so the NC ratio is sort of moderate to low. Cytoplasm may sometimes have large, hard-edged vacuoles, or it may have multiple ones of varying sizes. And occasionally you'll see ingested neutrophils in the cytoplasm. The nuclei are obviously eccentric, although these aren't as tall a columnar cells as endocervicals. They're more cuboidal in nature. They have enlarged, usually fairly finely granular nuclei with prominent single central nucleoli, classic adenocarcinoma appearance. And the nuclear membranes usually are not terribly irregular, so they're usually pretty smooth, not indented, and that is typical of endometrial adenocarcinoma.